Hi guys, today we are going to cover a new chapter, which is planning. Like we all have discussed previously, planning is the first function of management, and then after planning we have organizing, leading and controlling. And in this chapter, these are the things that we are going to discuss, from the definition, types of planning and goals, and then we are going to discuss in terms of in the following chapter we are going to discuss about this, the nature of decision making and conditions under decision making. This is also part of the planning. For the definition, planning is the process of outlining activities that are necessary to achieve organizational goals. And from planning, we are going to produce a plan. A plan is a blueprint for action. It prescribes the activities necessary for an organization to realize their goals. And we all plan. If we don't plan, actually we plan to fail. That is a saying that. And then if we are talking about going for a football match, we are going to go to the field with our tactical plans, and we discuss about the tactical plans prior, even before we start the game. So meaning to say that all this tactical part, all this planning part should take place right before you implement the action. The purpose of planning is simple: to ensure that organization is both effective and efficient. We want to deliver what is expected, and we want to do it better, good, by becoming efficient in the things that we do. So that's why you need to plan. And importance of planning are quite many. The first one is it provides the foundation for all organizational activities. Through planning, managers coordinate organizational activities so that goals of the organization can be achieved. Planning also ensure that the organization is both effective and efficient. So we know what are we going to be expected for the whole year, whether or not we are going to expand our operations, whether or not we are going to extract our operations, and then you can be much effective and efficient by planning. So you can have our backup plans. Even in a football match, sometimes the tactical plan is changing depending upon our opponents. At first, maybe we go into the field with a 4-4-2 formation, but as the game goes on, we suddenly switch to 1-5-4 performance, for example, and just to deal with the opponent's strategy. And then to ensure that the products and services are offered to its customer, and then to give guidance and directions to the members of the organization as to their role in delivering those products and services. There are lots of benefits of planning: better coordination, focus on forward thinking, participatory work environment, and more effective control system. And we are going to discuss each one of them. The first one is better coordination. If you don't plan, if you don't go into a football match without having any tactical plan, there is no way that you can coordinate your game effectively and efficiently. And then you might ended up by having 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, and no one play the midfielders and the strikers. So you need to have a plan so that you can identify there would be 2 strikers, 2 wingers, and then 4 midfielders, and then 4 fullbacks, and then 1 goalkeeper. And that is how you can better coordinate your team through planning. And then focus on forward thinking. We go to a match, football match, with the thought that, with the plan that we are going to win, and we come up with different plans. If they do this, we are going to switch from 4-4-2 to 3-3-4, for example. If they do this, we are going to change our tactical from 4-4-2 to 1-5-4, for example. Or if they do this, we are going to change into 3-5-2, for example. And so meaning that through planning, you focus on forward thinking. You anticipate in terms of the opportunities that you can seize or the threats that the organization may face in the future. And planning also allows members to participate in the work environment. Successful planning requires participation from all members in the organization. Yes, it is kind of like a bit impossible for everybody to involve, but at least our departmental manager is in the planning process. So we know that someone is representing us. So that could create a participatory work environment. And it would provide organizations with access to a broad base of experience and knowledge. And by having a good planning, you can have a more effective control system, because the control is the last part where you are going to evaluate your performance. So you need to have a good planning so that whatever it is that you plan would be implemented and would be evaluated by at the end of the year. So an organization plan provides a foundation for control of the processes and progress of the company. So these are the steps of planning. We talk about setting the objective first, and then identify the alternative ways of reaching those objectives, developing premises upon which the alternative is based, choosing the best alternative, and then developing the plans to pursue chosen alternative and putting the plans into action. In planning, one of the important elements in planning is objectives. We talk about long-term and short-term objectives. You need to set them in the planning process. In the formulation part of the organizational strategy, we need to decide what are our objectives. And organizational objectives are the formal targets of the organizations and are set to help the organization accomplish its purpose. For example, we want to be the leading supplier or the leading producer in the industry. And then as the individual objective are the personal goals each organizational member would like to reach through activity within an organization. So these objectives include high salary, personal growth, and recognition. So this could be in terms of our own aims or targets within organization. And for organizational objective, the ROI, zero defect in terms of the performance, in terms of the profitability. They want to increase from 1 million to 3 million, for example. That could be part of organizational objectives. So why organizational objectives are important? Number one, it is used as a guide for decision making. So you know in terms of your priorities, what are the things that needs to be done first. And then it is a guide for organizational efficiency. Managers must have clear understanding of organizational goal. Only then they will be able to use limited resources. And then we talk about guides for organizational consistency and also guides for organizational evaluation. There are two types of planning. There are two levels of planning: strategic plan and operational plan. As the term implies, strategic plans usually occurs at the top of the organization, at the top of the pyramid. If this is the pyramid, so from right in the middle and further up, usually they would be involved in terms of strategic planning and operational planning. The types of planning usually being implemented in our day-to-day operation, and we are going to discuss about this. The first one, strategic planning, is the process which organization makes decision and takes action that affect its long-run performance. A strategic plan is the output of the strategic planning process, and strategic plans define both the markets in which the firms competes and the ways in which it competes in those markets. Not only it does come out with a tactical plan or our strategic plan, but a strategic plan defines in terms of which market exactly that we are going to compete. Is it Melaka? Is it Negeri Sembilan? Is it Malaysia? Is it in southern region, northern region? And the ways that we are going to compete. Are we going to open up new store? Are we going to increase our promotional activities? Are we going to do more advertisement? Are we going to do a different form of advertisement like billboards and everything? We are going to come up with a new product. So those are your strategies. And strategy is defined as a broad and general plan developed to reach our long-term objective. And we have the purpose of strategic planning is to move the organization from where it is to where it wants to be. It is just the same as vision, and meaning that today we are here and tomorrow we want to be here. And so that is your vision for the future, and that's why you need to have this strategic planning. Level of strategic planning. There are 3 levels. The first one is corporate level, and then business level, and then functional level. The corporate level discuss the planning focus on what business should we be in. So we discuss in terms of what exactly the products or services that we want to produce. Do we in the food and beverages business, or are we in the IT industry? Are we focusing in halal products? Are we focusing in hotels, businesses, or accommodation? For example, that is the question that you need to ask at the corporate level. And then at the business level, how do we compete in our existing lines of business? Because there are a lot of competitors, especially in the food and beverage industry or in the hotel industry, for example. So how are we going to make our hotel different? And then the functional level, how do we implement our corporate and business strategies? So this is may involve with the culture, with the attitude, with the quality standard at the functional level, meaning that no defect, and then being friendly, and then we are going to less waiting time for the employees, and for example. So those are the things that we can do at the functional level. And then the participants involved in these 3 different levels are corporate board of directors and top level executives, CEO, CFO, for example, CMO, and then business top level executive and managers within the business unit. It could go up to the division manager or departmental manager, and functional could be in terms of our mid-level managers and lower-level managers, our departmental managers, as well as our first line and supervisors. And the level of strategic planning, corporate broad 5 to 10 years, business more specific 1 to 5 years, functional 1 to 2 years time horizon. And finally, before we end our discussion for today, for this part of the chapter, and functional strategic planning activities necessary to implement the organization's corporate business strategies. For example, it explained in terms of what needs to be done at the operational level, at the R&D level, financial level, human resource management, and marketing. Okay, we stop here first, and we are going to continue with the remaining of the chapter in the next video.